Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I will be showing you an updated version of my video about taking aesthetic notes on Microsoft Word, and I also asked you on the community tab last week if you want to watch a video like this, and a lot of you voted yes, so here it is. Anyways, before I jump into the video, I want to share this one first. So this is the Lention 10-in-1 USB-C Hub. Basically, this serves as a bridge from your USB-C type gadget such as your MacBook, latest versions of iPad, and some cell phone. It allows you to connect your USBs, memory card, and other storage devices. And a disclaimer guys, this product was sent to me by Lention, and I will be sharing some features of it. And if you want to buy yours after watching this video, use my code JPLS20 for 20% off on or discount on your purchase. And by clicking the link to the website in the description box, you can get a 10% off. Once you open the box, you will see first the manual of the product and then the USB-C hub. I got the silver version. It also comes with a space gray color. So these are the ports included in the C69 hub, and then you will see here the warranty card and the custom-made storage bag. So it's pretty compact and it's just in the right size on which you can easily carry it anywhere. So the dimension of this one is 5.08 by 1.69 by 0.63 inches. The ports included in this one are two USB 3.0 ports, two USB 2.0 ports, a USB-C charging port, SD and micro SD card readers, 4K HDMI interface, gigabit Ethernet port, and a 3.5mm audio jack. And it is compatible with a lot of devices, some of which are MacBook Air and Pro, Go Chromebook, Asus ZenBook 3, Huawei MateBook, Dell XPS 13, and more. Here on the screen is the partial list of the compatible devices of the hub. And now we will check if my iPad Air can immediately recognize it. So here I just plug the USB-C hub into my iPad. Then this blue icon appeared, and after that you can plug in now your USB, your SD card, or other storage devices. Here I opened the Files app on my iPad, and as you can see here, this is the USB I plug in the hub, and with that I can easily transfer files from my USB to my iPad. And if you're done using it, you can just take it off. If you want to transfer files from the USB plugged in the hub to your iPad, the process is just the same as with your laptop or PC. You can just easily copy the file or move them from the USB to your device. Here I tried to plug in my microphone, and it was eventually recognized by my iPad. If you want to know more about the product and if you want to buy yours, just click the link down below in the description box. And overall, I really found this very useful and convenient, since in my past videos, I've been doing most of the editing on my iPad, and with this hub, with the CBC69 10-in-1 USB-C hub, I can easily transfer some music or video files from my USB to my iPad. And I've been using it already for a couple of times, and yes, this is really helpful. And again, thank you so much to Lention for giving this one. They have other more products and other different types of USB-C hub. And yes, that is all for Lention. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the first step that you have to do is to find a color palette. So if you have been watching my past videos, this is definitely the first thing I do to achieve some aesthetic feel in my work. So here I just opened Pinterest on the web and search for some color palette. It is much better if you have a theme or some pegs in mind so that it will be easy for you. And I got this rosy pink and green feels, and once you find your desired template, just save it to your device. Next, I will search for some fonts, and here I opened fontspace.com. So don't worry about each of the links of the fonts I used. I included them below in the description box if you want to download them. And if you found the perfect font for your notes, just click on the download font icon, the one with the gradient background. And after it is downloaded, click on the zip file, and in this one, then click install. Just repeat the process, look for other fonts you want, and I will be showing you the specific fonts I use on each of the templates I made so that you can make your own and have an idea of what fonts you can use. Here on FontSpace, there are specific styles you can search for, and by the way, you can also use the font, but I personally prefer FontSpace because of its interface or the website. And now I will be showing you the steps on how I made my first template. So first, of course, you have to open Microsoft Word, then choose the blank document. Next is to change the layout or page size of the paper. So click on the size option under the layout tab. And since I will be using a B5 paper, I will click that one. And in this one, it depends on you. You can choose whatever you want depending on the paper you will use. Next, I will adjust the margin. So just click on custom margin. I will set the top and bottom margin to 1 centimeter and 1.3 centimeter on both sides of the paper. Then after that, click OK. I set the margins to these measurements since I'm using the B5 paper, but you can set your preferred margin. So next is to insert the color palette you saved earlier, but there is no eyedropper tool on Microsoft Word. So to have the color code of the specific colors, open PowerPoint and open a blank presentation. I will then insert the color palette photo of my choice, then insert a shape. Any shape will do. So I just set the outline to no outline, but it still depends on you. Next is to duplicate the shapes. So since we have 7 different colors, I will add 7 shapes. So if you have there 8, then add 8 shapes. Next is click on a shape, then the format tab above. And in the shape fill option, click on the eyedropper tool. And then click on a specific color from the palette. Just repeat it on the other colors. Next is to copy the palette from PowerPoint and paste it on Microsoft Word. To easily use or copy the notes from one document to the other, place them side by side so it will be more convenient to you. Here, I just opened the notes on our specific subject. Here, I add a text box, then copy the title of the lesson, and set the outline and fill of the text box to transparent. And here, I duplicate the text box, add the name of the subject. Since this is my Gen Bio subject, I placed here General Biology 1, and I set the font of the title header to Grayscale script. Next, I just added here a shape and click this tiny icon to format the shape. To use the color from the palette, you have to click first the specific shape or color you want to use, then click on the fill option and copy the color code of that specific color. Click the shape you want to change the color, and on the fill option, click the color you picked earlier. And here I want to add some patterns on this shape, so I just click on that option and I choose here the lines pattern. Duplicate the shape and place it on the other side and make some adjustments. So if you want to have some temporary grid lines on the paper so that it will guide you with your work, then you can go to the View tab and then check on grid lines. But I will just uncheck it since I prefer to have none. And again, if you want to use the color from the palette, you have to click on the shape first, then click on the shape fill, then copy the code of that color. Here I will change the font of the text, then click on the color you want, or you can paste the code by clicking on more colors. I will then add another text box, and this will serve as a subheader. Copy the text you will be using, and I set the font to hushed browns, and I just change the font color to this shade of green. I just adjust its darkness a bit. Next, I added the notes for that specific subheader. So I just add here another text box and paste here the notes. I decided to add some shape and set the shape fill to this light green color and set the outline to no outline. Place the shape at the back of the text, and of course, don't forget to make the text box feel transparent. Make some adjustments until you are satisfied with it. Here I decided to change the font of this one to chump change, also adjust the font size. So for the notes, I use the Galliot extra light font. Then I will just adjust this one. Here I added another shape, but this time instead of making the outline transparent, so the shape's fill is transparent, and for the outline of the shape, I use a darker shade of the color I used before, which is a darker shade of yellow. I just make some adjustments. And next I decided to add another shape, and I will place it beside my subheader, then change the shape fill and set the outline to no outline, and after that duplicate the subheader text box and the shape and place it below. Copy and paste the next subheader you will include on your notes, and then click this icon, the paste option command, and make sure to choose the merge formatting option so it will have the same font. Adjust the text box until all of the text appeared, and I also adjust its font size so that I can place a shape beside it. I'm just gonna move the palette so that I can have more space. And another idea you can use on your notes is this one. So add a shape. I just use this rectangle and adjust it. I set the fill to this light green shade, and then I add some shadow. I use the offset bottom right option and click on the format shape icon. I adjust here the transparency, size, blur of the shadow, and color. You can use the green shades for this, but I prefer to use pink since our subheader is already a shade of green. Next is to add a text. Click on the shape and you can paste it here directly or click on the add text option. Then I change the font to Typo Oval Light and use a dark shade of pink for the font color. Duplicate the shape and paste here the other text you will include. Next, I added another text box and paste here the notes. Adjust it by using the ruler at the top. You can change the font. I use here the Galliot extra light font and set the font size to 9.5. I just add here some more notes. After that, adjust the text box and set the outline to no outline. Duplicate the text box, then I place it here to the other subheader. Just repeat the process, copy your notes, paste them here. Do some adjustments and make sure that you choose the merge formatting option. I added here a line between to separate them, so this is just optional, so if you don't want to put some, then it's okay. I just use a lighter shade and then change its line weight. If you want to add some more, just copy and paste the subheader and the notes text box. You can do this based on how many times you want. And that is another idea on how you can make a part of your notes aesthetic. Next, I duplicate here my subheader and the shape. Basically, this is the format of my subheaders, but you can definitely make your own version. Here, I just duplicate a text box and I will paste here my second or third subheader. And I use here the chunk change font and adjust the font size. To maximize the space, just make some adjustments, move them a bit. Here I changed the font again to typo oval and I think this looks much better than before. And I just change its placing and then I add another shape. This time it's a circle one and I just change its fill to this color. Arrange the shape by placing it at the back of the text and I adjust the brightness of this shade of yellow and then I add here the notes under that subheader. Adjust it by using the ruler at the top. And here I change the font color for the subject text to the slight shade of green. And then I duplicate it so I can place the date on the other text box. I will just finish the first lesson on this subject that I will be including in the video. Again, duplicate the header from the previous notes. And then here I copied the table. I use Joliet Extra Light for the font and then adjust the table. To adjust the alignment of the text, click on the Layout tab above and on the Alignment option, choose the alignment you want to apply on the text. And then on the Design tab, I will change the table fill to a light shade of pink and choose the No Border option. I will then add a line. Okay, so you can definitely have the borders on the table, but I just want to use some lines instead of having a border, so it depends on you of what you will use. So here I just use a light shade of gray and then do some adjustments. Next, I added here another shape and this will serve as a shadow. I use here a light shade of green from the palette and place it at the back of the table. Next, I duplicate here a text box and a circle shape. Adjust its shape and place it below the table, and this is the last portion of the notes that I will be including. This is my notes looks like as of the moment, and I decided to add some photos, so I opened the web and search for some cell structure, and you can either copy the image directly or save it first to your device. So here I just copy it and then open Microsoft Word and paste here the image. I will just crop the title of the photo because I will be placing a custom one. So after you crop it, just hit enter and I will be duplicating another text box and name it Style Structure based on the title of the photo. I use the Grestel script font for this one and I will be adding this round edge rectangle shape and use a light shade of green for its color fill. I will then duplicate that page and then instead of using a solid color, I will be using a pattern fill. So I just use here the grid pattern and a darker shade of green. I added here an outline on the patterned fill shape. Adjust them based on your preference. And then I place a shape at the back of the photo so that it will serve or it will have this border design. And I adjust its transparency. So here is my title header and I decided to add some shadow and I choose a lighter shade of pink. Just adjust some of its settings, the transparency, size, blur, and etc. This is how I made my first aesthetic notes. Now I will be showing you how I made my second template. I will still use a B5 paper for this one and use the same margin measurements. Same as with the previous process, I will place the notes beside the document I'm working on. I will be showing you other ideas you can use to make your aesthetic notes, and the first one is for the header title. So for this one, I will add first a shape, and I will be using the curve line. I'm gonna make an irregular shape with this. Make sure to connect both ends of the line so that you can add a shape fill, or you can place a shape fill. Then I will just repeat the process about the color palette, where I will open PowerPoint and insert the color palette photo. After that, insert some shapes and use the eyedropper tool to copy the color from the palette. And then I just copy it and paste it on Microsoft Word. I will change the shape fill to this color and then duplicate the shape. And one of it, instead of applying a solid fill color, I will use a pattern 1, and then here I choose the grid lines pattern. I change its color to light gray and place it at the back of the other shape. I will change the other shape's fill to this light pink or baby pink color. And then I just adjust them, and here I added a text box. The same as with the format before, I will place the title of the lesson, and in this one, I use the typo oval demo font. I adjust its size and change the font color to this shade of gray. Next, I duplicate the text box and place here the subject. So this is our media and information literacy. And then I just change the font to Medellina Sans, adjust its font size, and then I just duplicate the text box to add the date. Here I'm planning to make it a 2-column notes, so I will be placing here a line in the middle. I just use here a light gray color, and then I change the line weight or the line thickness, also the dashes or the line style of this line. So I just choose the broken line. And after that, I add here a text box and then copy a subheader. I change the font of this one to Grestel Script Demo and use this red pinkish font color. And after that, I copy the definition of the notes from the subheader and paste it on the other document. And then use the Geliat Extra Light font and then adjust its font size to 9.5. Here, since I want to use an arrow bullet for the notes, I just search for it on Google and then copy the arrow and place it here before the definition. Then I just duplicate those, the subheader and the definition, and place here the next word. Again, make sure that when you will paste it, you have to choose the merge formatting paste option. I will just repeat the process, copy, then paste it. You can definitely use the ruler to adjust and align them. So I will just move the color palette, and now I will proceed to the first lesson of this subject. And I decided to add here a shape and a text box and type here lesson 1. I duplicate the text box and place here the lesson title. Again, I will just copy and paste it to the document I'm working on. I use here the font Bench Script and use a gray color font. For the lesson text, I use the Larianti font and then I just make some adjustments. Next, I added this other header. I duplicate the text box and paste here the word. I added a shape and then just change their color. Then I just duplicate here the text box that we use with the notes. I place it here below and then change its content, or like the words. On this header, I decided to change the shape fill. I place at the back of it with this shade of pink and then change the font color to white. I just make some adjustments. And here I change this shape's fill to this light gray. I will add some more notes on the other side, so I just duplicate the text box and then edit it. I then duplicate the header, the one with a background. I just change the text, and in this part I will add this rounded rectangle shape and then paste here the notes. I use the font universe on the title and then use a dark gray font color and then adjust the alignment. I will then paste the definition, and I still use the Gel Yet Extra Light as my font. I adjust the shape and place here my other notes, copying them and pasting them here. Since it doesn't fit in just a single paper, I duplicate it again and place it on the other page. Next, I added some photo and I added here some shadows. Just do some small adjustments, and I use here a pinkish color and now include the lesson 2 text. I just repeat the format of the previous lesson. I duplicate the text box and the shape, do some adjustments, change the text on the text box based on the lesson 2 title. Here I also added a line and another text box. On the subheader of this one, I choose Creamy Chocolate as my font and use this gray color for the font color. I then add here the notes under that subheader and still use Gel Yet Extra Light for the font. I will just repeat that process to the remaining notes. Then I added here a line beside the subheader and use a light shade of pink as the fill color. And this is what the second aesthetic notes I made. And now I will show you how I will print my notes on my B5 loose leaf paper. So first is to open the print menu by clicking on or by pressing Ctrl P on your keyboard and make sure that it's on a B5 size paper. After that, on the pages section, place here the first page that you will be printing. So in this case, I will print first the first page of the document or the page 1, then click print. On the placing of the loose leaf paper on your printer, make sure that the holes are on the right side of the printer. And this is how it will look like. To print on the back portion of the paper, flip it upside down, and this time the holes should be on the left side of the printer. Change the page to be printed to page 2 and then click print. I will then repeat that to my other notes. And this is how they look like. And now I will show you how you can save or download the templates. I will provide 2 different links for the template, one for the G Drive link and the other is for OneDrive. So just go to the description box below or on the pinned comment for the links. I will show you first how to download the template from the G Drive link. So first, of course, you have to click on the link, and I share this for you to view only, not to edit the document. So a reminder, don't ask for permission to edit it if ever you want to use the file, because as you can see here, once I click the document, the template is just all over the place and it's all jumbled up, and I don't want to use that in that state. So what you would do is to click on the document, and on these 3 dots located in this portion, click on download. But before you do that, you have to download first the fonts I used. I included the installer of the fonts with the templates, then click on the file of the template, and as you can see here, you will eventually have the template I made in this video. Just click on enable editing at the top, and as you can see here, I included the color palette and the fonts I used. And this is the other template I make. Same as with the previous one, there is the color palette and the fonts I used. Okay, so supposedly you will pass an assignment or a project to your teacher and you used the template I made. If you want to retain the format, the fonts, placing, and everything, you have to save it as a PDF file if it's okay for you to pass it in that file format. However, if your teacher told you to pass on a Word file, then there will be a big possibility that your document will be jumbled or messed up once your teacher received it, like the one we saw a while ago on Google Docs. And if you will ask why, it is because the fonts that we used on the template, maybe it is not downloaded on his or her device. So if ever you really want to pass on the same format, pass it as a PDF file if it is possible. And now I will show you how you can download using the OneDrive link. So first is to open the link, then just click download. Same before, you have to download first the fonts. And by the way, the other fonts I used on the template were not included in the Drive link because they are already in the Microsoft Word application, like the font Bandschrift. Just open the file and you can now start editing. And yes, that is all for today's video, guys. Again, if you want to buy your own USB-C hub, don't forget to use my code JPLS20 for a discount on your purchase, and you can click on the link to the website of Lention to know more about the product. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. So if you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to subscribe. And yes, that is all. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and see you on my next video. Bye, guys.